Hello everyone. Hope you all doing well. Welcome to the Celebrity Aura. Today we are going to discuss a famous personality in the Money Heist season named the Professor, whose whole real name is Sergio Morquina, stand at the heart of the Spanish series La Casa de Papel, known as Money Heist. While audiences known him as the brilliant mastermind behind two of the most daring heists in the history, the Royal Mint of Spain and the Bank of Spain. His character is deeply shaped by a lifetime of hardship, pain, and isolation. Beneath his calm demeanor, sharp intelligence, and precise planning lies a man whose life was marked by illness, loneliness, personal loss, and a unrelenting pursuit of justice. His struggle modeled him into the professor the world came to know, meticulous, strategic, emotionally complex. Sergio Marquina in his childhood struggles began at a very young age. Born with a serious illness, he spent most of his childhood in the hospitals rather than playgrounds. His sickness meant endless treatment, surgeries, and months of isolation from other children. While other kids played football in the streets, Sergio's reality was the four walls of the hospital ward. The physical confinement developed in him mind that he had wandered beyond his immediate surroundings. With limited physical freedom, he turned to books, puzzles, and problem-solving games. His illness was a burden, but it also forced him to sharpen his intellect, train his memory, and imagine complex scenarios that would later form the foundation of his criminal genius. However, this period also instilled a sense of loneliness. His companions were not friends, but doctors, nurses, and his own thoughts. A greatest emotional anchor in Sergio's life was his father. Despite the family struggles, his father nurtured Sergio's intellect and inspired his moral compass. His father was not a wealthy man or a man of influence, but was someone who deeply believed in his son's intelligence and potential. Sergio's father often visited him in the hospital, reading to him and encouraging him to see life not through the lens of weakness but through resilience. However, the financial strain on the family was immense. At one point, Sergio's father planned a heist at a bank to secure a better future for his sick son. Tragically, the robbery failed and Sergio's father was shot dead. This event became a turning point in Sergio's life. Losing his father was devastating, but more than grief, it planted a seed of purpose. His father had risked everything out of love, and Sergio carried that money with him. The concept of a heist was a longer simple but money about money. It was about justice, legacy, and rewriting the rules of the power. After his father's death, Sergio becomes even more introverted. Social interactions were always difficult for him, as he had grown up away from the normal environments like schools or playgrounds. He was intelligent but awkward, kind but unable to easily express emotions. While other people built friendships and careers, Sergio's life revolved around study, planning, and surviving the shadows of loneliness. He developed himself understanding history, economics, science, and strategic His mind became his greatest weapon, yet this came with a heavy price: life without intimacy, companionship, or belonging. His struggles were not only emotional but practical as well. Lacking stable support and with limited social skills, he often found it hard to connect with people. The world saw him as stranger or eccentric when in reality he was simply a man carrying invisible scares. The memory of his father's failed robbery never left Sergio. He began studying every detail of heist in history, analyzing their success and failures. Slowly, he built a blueprint of a perfect crime, a heist that would be remembered as an act of greed, but a symbol of rebelling against the system. However, the years leading up to his dream were filled with struggle. He had to live on the fringe of society, avoiding unnecessary tensions while recruiting people he believed could execute his vision. He spent years in seclusion studying not only the logistics but also human psychology. His perfection was born from his lifelong fear of the failure, the same failure that cost him his father. Though the professor was always portrayed as calm and collected, his struggles did not disappear once the heist began. Leading a group of volatile personalities was itself a test of endurance. The pressure of being responsible for every life inside the Royal Mint or the Bank of Spain weighed heavily on him. Behind his glass, Behind his glasses and composed smile, Sergio constantly battled the anxiety, guilt, and fear. Every time one of his team members was injured or killed, he carried the emotional burden as if it were his personal failure. His leadership was less about power and more about the responsibility, a responsibility he often struggled under. His relationship with Raquel Murillo, who was the inspector lady, also reflected his struggles. For a man who had spent most of his life in isolation, falling in love was unfamiliar territory. His emotional clashed with his logic, making him vulnerable. This inner conflict between a being a cold, strategic, and a man capable of love was one of the greatest battles of his life. Perhaps the professor's deepest struggle was with the morality. Was he a hero or a criminal, a revolutionary or a manipulation? His inventions was shaped by a desire to strike against the system of the power and inequality. But these methods were violent and risky. This constant tug of the war inside him definitely his injury. He wanted to honor his father's dream, give meaning to his own suffering, and provide justice in a corrupt world. Yet he also carried the guilt of the bloodshed, broken families, and destroyed lives. Unlike the others, Sergio was not driven by the greed or the adrenaline. He was driven by the mission, and the weight of the mission was both his strength and his curse. By the end of the series, the professor emerged victorious in many ways, but his struggles never truly left him because whole life he has been shaped by illness, loss, loneliness, and moral conflict. Even in success, he remained a man haunted by the past and sacrifices made along the way. The professor's story is not just about the mastermind criminal, it is about a man who turned his lifelong pain into a purpose. His illness forced into an intellect. His father's death pushed him toward rebelling, and his loneliness gave him the clarity to design revolution. Every struggle he faced was like a piece of the puzzle that became the highest. We can conclude that Sergio Morquina, the professor, is a character defined by struggle more than success. From his sickly childhood to the tragic loss of his father, from his years of isolation to the emotional storms of love and leadership, his journey is one of the lessons. His struggle shaped his brilliance, his morality, his legacy. The professor teaches us that greatness often comes not from the privilege but from the pain, not from the comfort but from the leadership. His life never easy, but it was preciously that difficulty that forged him into the mastermind who could challenge the world. If you find this video interesting, then like the video and press the subscribe button for the more entertainment and the enjoyment. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of the latest videos. Please share the video with your friends and drop the comment below. Have a nice day. Signing off.